Bipolar Barbie here. In case you're wondering, yes, this is one of my awesome t-shirts, one of my awesome crop tops that is going to be available on my clothing website when my clothing line launches very soon, hopefully. Just putting the final touches on it. So any of the clothes that you like, that you have seen on my social media accounts, I will be posting the links to my website. Pretty sure it's going to be www.attitudeapparel.com.au. So if you're watching this in the future, hi from the past, you can probably already look that up and purchase your really awesome attire to show off your unique attitude. Now today, what I wanted to talk about was this idea of like overreacting. And I had got in this like little debate. I mean, it was like a one-sided debate really on their side, where I posted this kind of video where I just left the pub because I was, having this like state of like panic, full-blown anxiety, social anxiety, and I just left. And I mean, I had calmed down considerably by the time I walked home. But it had to, I guess, be a really severe situation that I had to escape from to decide to walk 4 kilometers home in the dark, rather than bear another minute. Now, I really did try. I spent an additional 2 hours there, more than when the first alarm bells started going of like, okay, all right, okay. So I really did try to push through it. And I think, each time I do get slightly better at it, but depending what other, issues I've got going on with my mood state, sometimes I just can't. So it got to that point where I was like, you know what? I need to get out of here. I just can't handle one more second. And then I, filmed that video. So if you haven't checked it out, do it. It's cool. But someone said to me, oh, you're just overreacting. And the funny thing is that this person actually said that they dealt with anxiety. So first of all, if you have anxiety, how would you feel if someone told you that you were just overreacting? Secondly, anxiety or generalized anxiety disorder. There is a difference between stress and anxiety, but having like a panic disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, agoraphobia, like a fear of actual people, which is completely different to sort of a social anxiety. I have an intense fear of people. I have an intense fear of just generally being alive because of my borderline personality disorder and the trauma that I've experienced in my life. So much so that my resting heart rate is 135 when it should be 80. So I have to take heart medication for that because I'm constantly in this state of panic. So yeah, I'm going to overreact to situations. I mean, that is like the definition of anxiety, is feeling, an incredible amount of fear. Of course, it's going to be disproportionate to the situation. When you're already at a general level of anxiety, it's not going to take much to kind of set you over the edge. I know that it's unreasonable. I know that I'm sitting there going, why can't I just be like everyone else? Why can't I just deal it? This is not a big deal. But guess what, guys? Anxiety has other plans for me. My heart rate is already rising. It's not just in my mind. It's literally a whole full body experience. My heart rate rises. I get short of breath. I start like sweating. Sometimes I even get intense muscle tightness. Sometimes I get intense fatigue as well. Then I get really agitated. So my body will actually physically start twitching. And at the same time, the walls around me get closer and closer and I start to feel really claustrophobic. And at that point I will shut down, where I'll just kind of be like, the world around me is just suddenly too much. The people in it are too much. I get really irritable and like an animal that has been cornered. I will bite if I can't run, which would be my first choice, because it is this flight or fight response, a primitive response that would normally be triggered by some sort of physical danger, like a tiger or, someone else who's trying to kill you, back in caveman times. But unfortunately now, there's a lot of life stresses that trigger that response, and it's not helpful. So guess what, guys? I'm not overreacting. Anyone with any form of mental illness is not overreacting. It might appear that way to you, But it's like mental illness as a whole is defined by some form of distorted thinking that alters a person's behavior. So to them, it is real. I mean, you wouldn't sit there and call someone, you know, who has psychotic episodes, you know, schizoaffective or schizophrenia. You wouldn't tell them that they don't really have a pet unicorn. I mean, to them, that's real. They are seeing that. They are experiencing that. So, yeah, it is real. They are reacting to the way that they feel and the way that they think. And even though it might be unreasonable to you, you know, that can be true. But that is why I seek treatment, because these feelings, you know, or these experiences interfere with my life. And I don't want them to. So please don't tell anyone that they're overreacting. And if you think they might be, a more helpful way to deal with it is to learn about like negative thinking styles. So for example, if someone is catastrophizing, which is basically where they're going, oh, my boyfriend has cancer when he has a sore throat. It's kind of like, well, you know what? The logical conclusion to draw is that he has a cold, the flu, or maybe even glandular fever, like worst case scenario. So maybe pointing out something like that would be a lot more helpful than just telling them that they're overreacting. Stop it, guys. Now, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you have thoughts on overreacting, then let me know in the comments below, and subscribe if you haven't, and let me know if you're excited for my clothing line, because I am. All right, guys, have a good day.